Corner coach Mike Tangen joined us last week. The Vikings ended up with a victory over Mason City in week number 6 of the season. Again, Mike, seemed like a pretty complete performance by your squad. You agree?
Yeah, I thought our kids again executed the game plan pretty well. Started off the game, we got out of position in one of our coverages. Mason City's really explosive. They have a really good receiver, so they capitalized on that, and then we just got kind of going and rolling, and we started playing good defense, and the combination of that with our explosive offensive plays. But I just thought we executed really well. Again, play calling was really good. Tanner made good reads. Our kids made plays, so yeah, it was a fun game again on Friday night.
And offensively, 427 yards of total offense, 296 on the ground, 131 through the air. You did enough in both ends of things to be pretty competitive. But the stat that stood out to me is 6 of 8 on third down conversions. How important are those situations where you need to stay on the field and your offense was able to do so?
Yeah, that's been a huge emphasis that we've put on our kids, especially since Western Dubuque. We were very poor on third down on that night, and the result was what it was. And that's something that we need to continue to do, especially now that we're, moving in. I mean, the rest of the teams that we play from here on out are playoff teams. And so, what do you have to do when you're playing really good teams? You got to figure out ways to stay on the field, and you got to figure out ways to get the other offense off the field. And that's something that we've done a good job of the last couple of weeks, and we need to continue that so that we are, maximizing our possessions and then taking a few away from the other team.
You kind of touched on it a little bit, but on the flip side, Mason City, 2 of 9 on third down conversions and 0 of 2 on fourth down conversions. Your defense living up to their end of the bargain as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's just again, it's an emphasis that we've had as a team, and so the guys have really bought into it, and just talking about the importance of every play. But then there's anytime you can get a team into third down, you got to be extra detailed. You got to do your job. You got to be as competitive as you can so that you win your play. And if we can do that as a team on both sides of the ball, I like the direction that we're moving.
And I know it doesn't happen without the offensive line, but another great night to running the football for Trevor Kinnan. 9 carries, 140 yards. How has Trevor evolved as the season has progressed?
Yeah, Trevor's an excellent football player. He's good on both sides of the ball. We even threw him on special teams a little bit on Friday, and he was good there. He's got a motor. He's competitive. He's a really intelligent kid as well. Which there's a mental part of football as well. Knowing your assignment and all those things. And he just does a good job. He's like having a second coach out there. But you're right on the offensive defensive line. I think that's where we've probably grown the most since Western Dubuque is our line play on both sides of the ball. I think we're putting our kids in good positions. We've moved some people around, and I think that that's benefited the team. And so, I think up front is where we've improved the most, and that will be a big thing going into this week. Is just as we're getting to get again these teams that are getting to be these playoff teams is how can we match up front and can we control the line of scrimmage, and that's going to help us moving forward.
And how much of that just has to be an evolution process, especially on the offensive line, getting those five and maybe when you put the tight ends together, 6 and 7 guys to work together as one rather than just 7 guys individually out there.
Yeah, and I think that has been a huge thing for us moving forward is these guys that were new coming into this year, because we've moved some guys in, some juniors and even a sophomore in, and so their development just with each other has gotten to be there's much more continuity there. They're communicating really well, and so that's also been a huge part of our evolution as an offense and a defensive side is just those guys just needed to get reps. And sometimes it takes a couple, 2 or 3 games, for the juniors and the new guys that are playing to get up to the varsity speed. And so that's been big here as we've moved forward, and we've just gotten better for sure.
And for the first time since 2018, you make a trip to Cedar Rapids Xavier. Obviously, everyone can see the rankings each and every week. You see Xavier on film. What impresses you the most?
They're They're a very disciplined football team. They're so well coached. You can just tell. I mean, it has been a little while, like you said, since we played them, and when we were playing them, I was a part of the coaching staffs, and so we've defended them. I was a D coordinator at that time, and they're just they're so well coached. They know your tendencies. Their kids are really disciplined. They're always really physical. They play a very good complementary style of play, both offensively and defensively. So they're just a really, really good football team overall. But they play the game clean. They play the game right. And so, this will be a fun challenge for us for sure on Friday.
And of course, with high school football, you're only guaranteed 9 games per year. I have a tough time saying one game's bigger than the other, but I'd imagine these are the type of games all kids look forward to, don't they?
Well, I think, when the schedule came out, back in the spring, and you see that you have Cedar Rapids Xavier on your schedule, you definitely put a little bit of attention to it because they're just their tradition and how good they are. And then you throw in Waverly, you throw in Dubuque Wahlert, you throw in Western Dubuque, and all the teams that we've played this year. And it's like, man, we've had a tough schedule, but it's prepared us for these types of games. And so, is one game more important than the other? No, but this game is the most important because it's the next one, and they're a really good team, and I'm excited to kind of see, where we're at. Last time we played when we played Western Dubuque, after that game we didn't execute all that well, and we didn't get embarrassed, but we got our eyes opened up, and so I'm excited to go back and see, how much growth have we made when we go against another top tier team and see, if we can just go toe to toe with it, make it a game, and see what happens at the end.
All right, Coach. Hopefully, it can be a happy couple hour bus ride home come Friday night. Keep you guys healthy. We wish best of luck.
Thanks, Darren. Appreciate it.
One of the top matchups in the state will be in Cedar Rapids this week as Decorah takes on Cedar Rapids Xavier.